Oh, is it on? I was not paying attention. Sorry. I was getting texted. Hey you guys, how are you doing? We lost Ozzy today and it is rough out there for a metalhead. Ooh, like way harder than I thought it was going to be, right? I mean, just sorry, this always bugs me and you know it. Um, just because we knew it was coming doesn't mean it was easy when it got here. I mean, we all did know that Ozzy wasn't going to last. We just kind of thought it was going to maybe be next year or something, you know? Uh Hi, Coda, how you doing? Um and I honestly, sorry, I know I'm ridiculous with this stuff. Um I honestly thought we would have Ozzy maybe another year or two. I really did. Um I mean, he didn't look great at Birmingham, but he also looked really good considering, you know, the guy who'd been through so much. Hey Zachary, how you doing? Um and there's this thing where I read a study a long time ago that it actually was like a men and women study, and it said more men die before their birthday and more women die after their birthday, but that the occasion is really the thing, right? So I think that Ozzy just really, his whole body just kept going until he had that last hurrah. Hi, Red. Yeah. And then once it happened, he felt done, you know, and his body was like, okay, you know how like when you're working really hard and you're kind of going crazy with all this extra work, and then as soon as you've got a day off, you get sick. And it's kind of because you kept going, you knew you had to keep going. And then the minute you had a break, there wasn't anything on the horizon. That's when it hits you. I think that I think that's what happened. That was his I think that was his goal and that was the thing he was looking forward to. And once it was done, I think everything just caught up to him. That's my guess. Hey, Bryn. Yeah. Yeah. You know, Ozzy Osbourne is the alpha and the omega of metal. You know, he was there for the beginning and he brought us through multiple generations of the genre and was relevant till the end, which not a lot of people can say. And it's kind of amazing. Kardik, you're gonna miss the hell out of Ozzy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're all gonna miss the hell out of Ozzy. Um, I don't know what else we could do. You know, at some point we're gonna lose all of our idols. And I think Ozzy held on as long as he could for us. Um, hey Kevy. Yeah, you know, one of the things I'm gonna take with me into the afterlife is gonna be that I did what it took to go to that last show. Hi, Nina. Umberto. Hi. I know. Oh, good to see you too, Kardik. Always. Yeah, I just, you know what? Just because I wanted to go live on all the things all at once, I just said screw it, and I dropped the $500 on Streamlab because they're having a sale. You know, the whole reason I didn't re-up the StreamYard, the whole reason I didn't re-up the StreamYard was because they raised the price from 500 to like 850, and I was like, psh. And then all of a sudden they're all, hey, it's 500 again, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and I'm like, we'll see. But I don't know. I'm not making any promises. We'll see if this $500 investment is going to be worth it. Yeah, Nina, so sad. Thank you, Troy. Yeah, super sad. Bryn, you knew who Ozzy was by the time you were 3. Aww. Troy, you can't say it was unexpected entirely. I mean, he was in very poor health. But also, no matter how much you are expecting it, you're still not expecting it. Kardik, he lived beyond an interesting life. He lived like the life. he was one of a kind. You know what? I agree, Coda. I didn't think it was going to hit me as hard as it did either, but there were times when I was like trying to talk on the air and getting all and having to kind of back out real quick. So hopefully it sounded okay on the radio today. Oh, here I should give the station some promo and be like, don't want to knock my laptop over either on account of I have my laptop propped up right now, legit, on a couple of soda cans that Lamont left in the studio. Yeah. Javier, for real. Rest in power, Ozzy. Christian, you know what? It is kind of nice to know that so many of us are feeling this all at once because, that's our community. That's the metal community, the rock community, the music community, people who love this stuff. We are all feeling it all at once. And yeah. Hey, Philip, Trolley. Troy, you know what? I couldn't afford it, but I found a way. I mean, because I work in an unstable industry, I always have some money socked away for the oh no moment when you get fired unexpectedly. It's we joke about it in radio, but it's not exactly a joke where, we're always like, is the card key working today? And if the card key doesn't work on the first swipe, we're like, is today the day? So you could be fired at any minute in radio for no reason whatsoever, just out of the blue. Like what happened with KSJO when in 2004 when it flipped Spanish and I suddenly got fired. So I raided my emergency fund and I used my credit cards, and because we had enough of lead time from finding out about the show, I was able to kind of like pay the expenses off over time, and I think I'll have that last payment in August 7th, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it wasn't easy, and it took up the very last of my very few vacation days. And honestly, I only had those vacation days because we're not doing Monsters on the Mountain this year. The Mountain Festival is going to be an every other year festival. So next year I will have 0 extra vacation time, and I wouldn't be able to do this, or I would have to take unpaid vacation days, which would add like a lot to the cost of the trip. Hi, Keith. Hey, Esme. Right? When it's my time, that's kind of how I would want to go too. I would want to throw one big last concert with all my friends and favorite bands. Like, honestly, if there was a way I could go, that would be it. And clearly that was Ozzy's as well. Hey, Ralph. God, did he open the door for so many artists? Absolutely. And his whole life, Ozzy was championing other bands. Absolutely. Javier, I appreciate the sentiment that I was lucky, but I am quick to point out that luck did not buy those tickets. Luck did not pay for my credit cards. I actually did the whole trip just the same way anybody else could have, I heard about it on Blabbermouth, and the first thing I did was book a hotel room like that minute in Birmingham, just in case. And then I got up at 2:00 in the morning and I bought my tickets on Ticketmaster UK, just like everybody else. And, and I put in for my vacation days and I put everything on my credit card and I started paying it off. And so anybody could have done what I did. I hope that empowers people to do more. You can do it. You might have to make some sacrifices. I don't know if you've seen my car, but it's not pretty. But I have no car payment. So when you don't have a car payment, it's a little bit easier to set money aside for, concert trips. And that is a trade I happily make. Hi, Alan. Joey, Ozzy talked about wanting to go out on stage. Yeah, nobody wants to witness that. But I do not remember Colonel Bruce Hampton, actually. But I know, I remember when Jimmy Chocolate from Kix had a heart attack on stage. And also, we had another drummer have a heart attack or a heart issue on stage. It was Ted Poley's drummer. And that was scary enough. But it's true. Like Steve Gorman and I in our podcast, we talked about this. Steve's like, it's every musician's dream to just die on stage with a guitar in your hand or your drumsticks in your hand or whatever it is that you play, because that's the last place you want to be and the first place you want to be. So I can understand the sentiment, but also no one wants to see that. It's traumatic. It's very traumatic. Yeah, Nina, I know he said he would rather die than not perform, but I, I mean, and while that's not untrue, I don't think there's been a lot of talk about Ozzy being like semi-suicidal online, because at one point Sharon said something about them having a suicide pact. And I think she said that right around the time the UK was making changes to its assisted suicide laws. And Kelly Osbourne said in an interview like last week or just a few days ago recently that, her mom was just popping off in the press and that that's not a thing. No, they don't have a suicide pact. No, they're not planning to go out together. But I think that had Ozzy lived long enough to be in the need for an assisted suicide position, they would have. But obviously that didn't happen. So we can kind of at least avoid that trauma of the idea that mom and dad are going to take pills and be done, because that's just, I don't want to have the whole assisted suicide debate right now. And I know that it's a trigger for a lot of people and a lot of people are grieving. So if you need help, what is it? The 9 line? Is it the 9 line for, there's help out there. Just Google it. Just Google suicide prevention. Boom. You will have help. And you can just call people, just call whoever you need to call. Amy, we are playing Ozzy all day. We've been playing Ozzy every hour. Dawn, you went to Ozzfest every year starting in 2000. I think I went to every Ozzfest, but I got to be honest, when I was trying to talk about stuff on the air today, I was like, God, where are my Ozzfest memories? And I'm pretty sure I went to all of them at Shoreline in one way or another. I mean, I know I did. I know I was there, but the memories were just not coming back. Although now that I think about it, I do remember Ozzfest, and I know why I have a hard time remembering them, because I was working. At the time, I was working for the concert promoter. So I was working for, I think, what was Bill Graham Presents or SFX or Clear Channel Entertainment or eventually Live Nation. And I was also working in radio. So I would often be at the show working. And I did that one Ozzfest. I was the runner for Marilyn Manson, but I was also on KSJO. So I was running back and forth from the main stage. Do you guys need me to do anything? No? Okay. And then I would run over to the second stage and do like a stage announcement. What's up? It's Nikki Black from KSJO, blah, 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 blah. And I remember everybody at the second stage being like nuts. Like, there's the whole like show us your tits thing that kind of started happening. And I was like, you can't afford them. And next thing you know, they started throwing money and it was, I just went out of control. But, this is what women had to deal with, especially when you were in metal and if you were on stage at Ozzfest trying to introduce the heaviest bands on the second stage, like Slayer, so Slayer fans and the other bands on the side stage back then, think about who you were back then and who you are now. And I hope it's a better person. But yeah, it got to the point where after like the third announcement, they were like, listen, you gotta stop. We can't have you keep doing these. We don't have time to keep sweeping the stage of all the crap that they're throwing at you. And I was like, I'm not stopping. You can't stop me. And they were like, no, really, we're going to let it go. And I was like, all right, fine. I got work to do. But yeah, so that was one of my Ozzfest memories. Obviously not what I'm talking about on the air, but yeah, I don't think people understand what you go through as a woman in the metal scene sometimes. How did I get off on that topic? Because because Dan went to every Ozzfest. Bryn, Jose is on Ozzy's Boneyard playing a tribute and bawling right now on XM radio. Bryn, are you telling me that you're not listening to me? You're listening to Jose? Because I'm on the radio right now crying my eyes out. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying you have a choice. I love Jose. And I don't doubt for 1 second that Jose is also absolutely heartbroken by this, because he's a really good guy. And he has worked with Ozzy a lot more directly than I have, because they have the Ozzy branded channel. And my heart goes out to him. I would text him today, but I also know how rough it's been being texted all day long by people who want to sympathize and empathize with you over this massive loss that we're all suffering right now. Hi, Alan. Hi. Is it Golan or Golan? I don't know what Ms. Felony Strutter is talking about, but good on you. Kardik, it's true, talking about the metal community. People do a lot for each other, truly. Hi, Lori. How are you? I saw your post today from Ozzy at the Fillmore in 2011 when I did his makeup. I think he looks lovely in the photo because, you know, I did his makeup. That is one of my favorite memories, always will be. Nina, you sold your car today? Well, thank Ozzy. Yeah, Ozzy's going to be everybody's new good luck charm, right? Now that he's the heavy metal spirit in the sky. Thank Ozzy and thank Lemmy for all your good fortune. Oh, that is weird. Sorry, I think it's like spam, like funeral spam. Like, that's weird. God, people have no decorum sometimes. Hi, Byron. Yeah, I am doing okay, but you know, it comes in waves, and sometimes I just need to take a minute. You never know when something's going to hit you, but that's grief, and I'm not going to pretend that Ozzy and I were BFFs. You know, he's somebody who I worked with a few times. I met a couple of times, and I spent one very lovely evening with when I did his makeup, having a great conversation. And he also is a huge influence in my life, you know, musically. And when someone's a patriarchy of your entire genre of music that you kind of have lived your life for, there's no way it's not going to hurt when they're gone. Zachary, Mr. Crowley was your favorite song? I don't know what my favorite Ozzy song is. I don't know. I'm really terrible at picking favorites or top tens or whatever, because I always want to quantify things so differently. And it depends a lot on what I'm in the mood for. Red. Oh yeah. Red. Are you shocked I was at the show? Oh, probably because you're on YouTube and I posted everything on Instagram. So my Instagram handle, I changed it. It's Nikki Black Rocks now. And that is like ground zero for all of my back to the beginning Birmingham footage. The whole trip to London and Birmingham is all there. It's mostly also on Facebook, but the fastest, easiest way to get to it is right there on the grid for Instagram. Hey, Zeus, long live Ozzy. Hi, Christopher. Thank you. Well, I've always been on air, but now I'm on live stream. But I appreciate you. You need to not be fake because Ozzy and Sharon screwed over great musicians. Did they though? I mean, I don't know if you're new to the music industry, but maybe you are. But also, thanks for joining my live stream to talk shit about the guy who's been dead for 12 hours. Classy. Super classy. Hi, Joey. You remember that shit the next night you were trying to listen to the Metal Hour? Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny is I had to record that Metal Hour after I worked like 16 hours at that Ozzfest show. Fortunately for me, though, the radio station was in San Jose, so at least since I had already driven all the way from home, which I think was in Walnut Creek at the time. I was already in Mountain View, and then I just had to pop over to San Jose after working 16 hours in the heat and record the radio show, and then drive 2 hours home to Walnut Creek from San Jose. I probably made it in like hour 15 because I was driving the Camaro back then. Hi, Dave. How's PA doing? Hi, Amy. Oh, in 2004, you went to Ozzfest Prego? Nice. Hi, Joe. It is a sad day for all of us. Hi, Kat. Is it? I can just say Bobby, right? Or should I say Cash Bobby? Hi, good to see you. I still love that song you guys did with Chuck. It still pops up in my YouTube. It's on my YouTube right now. Hi, Brad. Yeah, I figured if I was gonna come back, it would have to be today. I mean, I tried to come back. I tried to come back right after Birmingham, and I was so exhausted and jet lagged. You guys, oh my God, after that last live stream, I still don't even remember what I said or how I was doing or why or how I was even still upright because I literally fell asleep driving home after that. Ooh, it was kind of bad. Oh, hang on. I got to make sure this is not a thing. Okay, good. Okay, buttons pushed. We're safe. Brain, if I could choose 5 bands at my final concert, well, half of them are already dead, so I don't know. And then don't make me choose because, there's a very limited Bay Area metal scene and I can't have all of them without, don't make me choose between the children. Marlon, we need a GoFundMe. You don't have to GoFundMe. You could actually send me. I'm pretty sure you can send me whatever. Oh, if you're on Facebook, Marlon, you can subscribe or you can send stars. And then on YouTube, there's like a little gifty cashy thing, I think, at the comments. I don't know. And then same with Twitch. Is anybody on Twitch? I haven't seen anyone on Twitch in forever. But yeah. Joey, how am I liking Youngblood? I gotta be honest, I was super impressed. At first, I was like, who is this guy? And then I realized he's the same guy who covered Kiss, I Was Made for Lovin' You on the, what was the Stuntman movie? With Ryan Gosling and the chick from The Devil Wears Prada, whom I adore, who's in all the musicals. You know who I'm talking about. And I remember when I saw that movie in a preview and I went by myself and I was like, and as soon as the movie opened and it was like the Kiss song, I was like, oh, The Fall Guy. That's what it was because it was an 80s movie. Anyway, he's the one who did that. And then also when he came out, I had no idea who he was and he still just like slayed it. So, and then I saw his tribute to Ozzy today and it was just heartbreaking. I guess Ozzy's like a godfather type to him, like that, like he's a family friend, which is how he ended up on the show. As me, I know how to party. Do I? Sometimes. Tom, we are all brokenhearted. Thank you. Ralph, you know what? I did make it work and it was worth every penny. Thank you. It was absolutely worth it. And I did spend a shit ton of money. But it's okay. It's okay. Bobby, you just did a video in remembrance for Ozzy. Aw. Coda, when you go play Sabrina Carpenter. Okay. I think Sabrina Carpenter was at the Hyde Park when I got there in London with Slayer, which was hilarious. It was either Sabrina Carpenter or like Olivia Rodrigo or like one of those teenage girls who's like a pop star. I don't know if she's a teenager. I'm old. And I don't know what the kids are listening to these days. Hey, Michael. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you got to watch all the stuff I did at the last show. I mean, it hurts my heart because today I was like looking through the videos again before we lost Ozzy, trying to figure out which one I was going to post because I still have some that I haven't posted yet. And then we got the news and it was just such a blow. I mean, this is so random, but I had to drop off my old cable box. So I'm sitting in the Xfinity store parking lot, like getting all these, my phone's just blowing up and I'm like, it was very strange this morning, super surreal. And I was like, well, then I guess I know which one I'm posting today. Nina, you got the virtual tickets. You know what? You probably saw a lot that I didn't see because there was a cameraman that kept standing in front of the drummers. So I couldn't tell who was drumming or when. Trevor, you appreciate that you had the pleasure to witness him in person multiple times? Yeah. Honestly, I am really glad I went to every show I could. That was always a goal of mine from childhood. And today on the air, I was talking about how I begged to please be able to go to the Ultimate Sin tour, but I was still in junior high and that was a no-go with my family. They were like, "Are you crazy?" And I lived in Fairfield, so honestly, I'm not even sure how I was going to get there. And the tour came through in the summertime, so it's not like I was around all my friends at school and we could like make a plan and get somebody's mom to agree to it or whatever. So the first time I saw Ozzy was No Rest for the Wicked, and it was kind of awesome. And then I saw him again the next night on No Rest for the Wicked because the guy I was dating at the time, his brother-in-law was Anthrax's production manager. I did not know that when I started dating him. Obviously, it had nothing to do with it, and he just happened to be able to get us passes for the show. So we went to both shows, and then I went again when he came back around. I think that was when I got my job at Shoreline Amphitheater. I was like parking cars at Shoreline, and the first show we picked was Ozzy. Am I remembering that right? God, I have to call my friend Caroline and ask her. It was so long ago. Sounds right. 89, right? Yeah. No, wait. Maybe. Losing all the brain cells, let me tell you. PJ, I need a Metal Zone virtual tip jar. I'm telling you, PJ, I'm pretty sure there is like a virtual tip jar at the bottom of this whatever comment thing that you guys are in. Did Bowie die on stage? Also, are we that far back in the comments? Oh my goodness. Nina, I don't think anybody's heard from Sharon, but I'm sure she's, well, she's English, right? So she's going to be stiff upper lip, but she's also going to be devastated. I'm sure she's going to lay low for a while. I hope she lays low for a while because grief makes people do crazy things. And Sharon is already known for doing crazy things. And I don't want to see like Sharon Osbourne's grief judgment. You know what I'm saying? Richard, I'm glad you saw the videos from the last show. I wish everybody could have been there. And honestly, I hope that, it's going to be released next year, right? Sorry, I do need to do something here. Okay. It's going to be released next year in theaters, which I think if I remember correctly, I read that it's going to be getting a digital or a physical release after that. They're probably moving up all of those plans right now. And I'm hoping that there's going to be like some super extended version where you get all the footage because it was just so incredible. Like the whole day was just magical. I didn't want to leave my seat because I had such a good seat. But I had to pee at some point, and I didn't eat or drink anything for like, they give you free water. I had one bottle of water for probably like the first 6 hours. And then I finally like had to pee. And when I got up to pee, I ran out and the lines for everything were insane except for the coffee. And I was like, well, we're living on coffee. So I got a cappuccino and a water. and then nothing else until like Metallica went on. And then during one of the Metallica songs, I walked back up, and the whole area where everybody was like getting food and stuff was a dead zone. It was completely empty. And I was starting to get tired, so I went for the coffee, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we're out of milk. All we can do is give you like shots of espresso." And I was like, maybe, but let me see what's going on. So then I went over to one of the food stations, and they were like, "All we have left is curry fries." And I was like, "Curry fries and coffee, please." And that's all I had all day. Now that I think about it, was 2 bottles of water, curry fries, and 2 coffees until I got into Slayer's dressing room, and then I had a liquid IV because at that point I was like, "Arr," and a shot of tequila. I don't even know if I ate anything now that I think about it. Did I get any food in the dressing room? It was such a rush, right? Because I got downstairs. I left my seat at the last possible minute, like during Ozzy's set, because I didn't want to leave because I had such great seats. I don't even have I don't even have video from the floor because it was so bad to see. You're just like, there's people. Like the floor was the schmooze fest. The floor was where the VIP gold circle area down on the ground was where everybody was like hugging everybody and seeing everybody and chatting and whatever. But the seats I had were so good I could see everything on stage, and I was like, I can't give this up. But then I had to, because I was leaving with the band after the show. So yeah, the whole time I was backstage, it was like a whirlwind because I kept running into people. But also we were like in a hurry to get here and in a hurry to get there and in a hurry to go out. And then Black Sabbath was starting. So it was like, oh my God, everybody get outside to see Black Sabbath. Where are we going to watch from? And anyway, that's when I ran into Rita and Pearl and Scotty Ian and who else was with us? And we bolted out to almost to front of house. And we were like in the very back, and we found a riser to hop on to watch. And that's where I took the video for, oh no, I didn't take any video there. We just watched. And then we were leaving through Iron Man. So I have a video as we were walking out from Iron Man. Yeah, Nina, you can't blame the guy. I think I was saying that earlier, how, when you reach a point where you've done all the things you want to do, your body kind of just goes, we're good now, right? Oh, Brad, that's sweet. I'm glad. Tom, you've seen Ozzy 9 times. I don't know how many times I've seen him. I've seen him be bad, but I've seen him be good. Did the royal family make a statement? I don't know. Oh, thank you, Speed. 988 suicide and crisis number. Oh, that's right, because they got the 3-digit number. I forgot about that. Thank you. Hi, Greg from Reno. Is it true that back in the day, Ozzy recorded music at Granny's recording studio in Reno, Nevada? That's deep. I don't even think Eddie Trunk knows the answer to that. If he did, I'm sure the studio has a picture of him, because there's no way that Ozzy was in the door without them taking a picture. Although it would be weird, but not completely unheard of, for both Ozzy and David Coverdale, who are both English, to be recording in Reno when they could have recorded. Why are you beeping at me? When they could have recorded in LA. Not completely unheard of. I mean, stranger things have happened, right? Hi, Rodney. Hey, Evan. It was nice to meet you too. Did I meet you at the bar at the Nefarious show? Is that you? Or did we meet upstairs? Thanks, Rodney. I'm glad to be back. Like I said, I finally just ponied up the cash for StreamYard. We'll see how this goes. I think I've got a few days to change my mind. Hey, Kevin. Yep, the Golden Gods are together now. Hey, Kayvon. Which was the more unique or special experience? Ozzy and Sabbath's final show or Metallica's 30th anniversary shows at the Fillmore? Talk about asking me to choose between my children. However, Metallica's 30th anniversary was a little bit better on account of the personal nostalgia factor, the fact that it was the Fillmore where I worked at the time, and that it was here at home where, you know, the Bone was a part of everything and I was a part of everything and the Fillmore was a part of everything. So there's just a little bit more personally in my heart for the Metallica 30th anniversaries, along with all the surprise guests that were true surprises. We had no idea that Merciful Fate was going to show up. You know, King Diamond had a heart attack, and there was no talk of that band ever getting back together ever again. And then all of a sudden, boom, they showed up on stage with Metallica, and we were like, and then we ended up kind of partying with all of them until like literally dawn. I had to drive home in commute traffic the next morning, which was nuts. But a close second. I can't think of anything else that would be even close to that second place spot than the Ozzy Black Sabbath final show. But again, that's just me personally because of, you know, my personal nostalgia and then my personal involvement. Plus I did Ozzy's makeup. I mean, no, sorry. Kelly, you were lucky enough to take your son to see Ozzy when he played the Shark Tank. Aw, see, this is what I love is multi-generational metalheads. Hi, Carrie. Hugs back at you, girl. We are all having a rough day. Hi, Brett. This is the first time I've been live, except for the one time I was half asleep and I tried to go live after the Birmingham show. But I'm going to try and keep it up. I mean, even right now, I'm just kind of waiting out traffic on account of Gaga is at Chase Center tonight, and I'm pretty sure it's a madhouse. Hi, Jim. Yeah, you know, if you got to lose it, man, lose it, because it's okay to feel things. We are all feeling it right now. I mean, it's Ozzy, dude. How is it not huge? Hi, Kim. How are you? I'm so happy I got to see you the other day. What was it? God, that was a month ago. Feels like it was last week. Jesus, time flies. Nina, am I the one Ozzy had an affair with? God, no. Ew. I don't know who Ozzy had an affair with. Last I heard, it was like a masseuse, right? And maybe a hairdresser. But all of Ozzy's affairs, as far as I know, were in LA. Definitely not. I have a thing where, like, I find men who are in relationships that hit on me to be really unattractive. Because if you're in a relationship, you should be in a relationship. And if you don't have the balls to end that relationship before you hit on me, I immediately lose all respect for you forever and ever and ever. And that can never change. That's just how I am. That's why like every woman who really knows me knows their husbands are 110% safe with me, because if your husband tried to hit on me, I would be so grossed out. Like, ew. Mm-mm. Speed, you're cruising in Fairfield, cranking Ozzy before they banned. Oh, you're talking about cruising in Fairfield, cranking Ozzy before it got banned. And to be fair, it didn't just get banned; it got moved. Right? It started out on West Texas, and then it moved to North Texas, and then it got, and they just kept banning it in certain quarter miles. And then I remember when it got banned in North Texas, we all just started cruising in Vacaville. But then Vacaville kind of banned it too, and then I don't know what happened after that. Joe, you just got done with the Down to Earth album. Yeah, you know, this is a great time for B-sides. Ralph, you threw Paranoid on the vinyl this morning. Aww, it has been emotional. Hi, Chew. How are you? Eric, your son wouldn't be here without Ozzy? Aw, you guys met at Ozzfest? There's probably a lot of couples that met at Ozzfest that are divorced already. So good on you for staying together. Lemmy and Ozzy both died 17 days after their final concert. Wow, I didn't realize that. Kevin, Sabbath was the most unique. Metallica is still here. R.I.P. Ozzy. Like I said, my personal choice. If you went to both shows and that's your choice, then by all means. This is why I don't like doing these lists. You know, I don't like ranking stuff. I don't like saying something's better than something else, especially when it's like a creative product, because apples and oranges most of the time. Savoy, Savoya, heart you. You're glad I went? I'm glad I went too. I wish you'd gone. Yeah, well, you know what though? I don't think it would have been a zero chance on getting a photo pass, because I know somebody from the US that got a photo pass and you're pretty legit. But I got to be honest, I went expecting to be in Gen Pop and expecting zero. And then at the last minute, I got some friends in one of the bands hooked me up with a band request list. There was like a band request link. If you were a guest of one of the bands, each band got a link for you to purchase through, because there were no comps, zero comps. It was a benefit. So everyone bought their tickets. And even though I had bought a ticket, I considered that ticket to be like my insurance policy. And then I bought another ticket through the band guest portal, which was totally worth it. And yeah, it was expensive, but a billion% worth it, because the view from my seat was phenomenal. But yeah, Savoy, you could have gone. You could have made it happen. And even if you didn't come through with a photo pass at the last minute, or did, you would have been on the spot and ready for it, but you still wouldn't have missed it. Rodney, yeah, it was crazy, dude. Hey, Michelle. I know, right? I mean, we're used to celebrities dying all the time, but this one feels too close. Savoya, you could have gotten him. Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm so glad you got to see Hailstorm last night. They were so good. Oh my God. Like, it's not like I haven't seen them before. When I said that I haven't really seen them, I put that in a comment at one point when I posted the Hailstorm video or the Lizzie video. Actually, I think I have another Lizzie video that I didn't post. Anyway, I put that I hadn't really seen them, and it's not like I haven't really seen them. I just haven't really watched them. You know, a lot of the times when I've been at a place that they've played, it's been a festival where the main band I'm there to see wasn't them, and they were always like on, and somebody was distracting me. I don't know if you know this or not, but people talk to me a lot during shows, and I miss a lot of stuff. Hey, Colleen. Oh, but bottom line, Lizzie slayed at that show. Well, anybody who's got the live stream can tell. Colleen, you saw Ozzy in the 80s and 90s in the Bay. Aww. You saw him with Randy? See, I never got to see Ozzy with Randy. I never got to see Metallica with Cliff. I was too young when that happened. I still give my mom shit today. I'll be like, see, if you'd let me go, I'm just saying, now it's a thing. Yep, Coda, it really is. Zachary Corathon. I don't know what Corathon is. Amy, you just hope William Shatner doesn't die before Comic-Con? Ouch. Is Shatner supposed to be at Comic-Con? I'm not doing Comic-Con this year. I don't know if you noticed, I went to Birmingham. But also my Comic-Con hookup moved to Canada. So unless I want to spend the money, which I don't, because it's not like it's the final Black Sabbath show, I'm not going to make it. Oh my God, the movie was The Fall Guy. We are that far behind in comments. I might have to start blasting through these, because I don't know. Well, maybe not. Let me see what traffic looks like. Have
a fun drive today. And if you're rushing into a meeting, relax. Just be 10 minutes late. All you're going to miss is the throat-clearing chit-chat before people talk about the actual thing.
If you don't have Hassan Minhaj as your voice on Waze, you're missing out. Okay, traffic's not that bad, so I probably do need to get out pretty soon. Kelly, I'm so sorry. I know. It's just been awful. You take care too. Nina, you're obsessed with Youngblood? Honestly, I'm very impressed with him. Jeff, the last time you were this sad was when we lost Lane Staley. Alice in Chains in Birmingham was phenomenal. Mike, you got the pay-per-view? Right. The pay-per-view was so good. I wish I'd gotten the pay-per-view and then just recorded it. but I'm still waiting for somebody I know, because I know somebody who's got it on a thumb drive to like share a Dropbox link with me. Kardec, Ultimate Sin, and Master of Puppets. Yeah, that would have been perfect. Yeah, I asked and I got told nope, under no circumstances. Nope. Kevin, yep. Ozzy, Lemmy, Dio, Dime, Cliff. The Great Gig in the Sky. Ralph, one of your all-time favorite memories was seeing Ozzy at the Metallica 30th anniversary shows. And how good he looked when I did his makeup. I know. Should be a drinking game every time I bring it up. Steve, you saw Blizzard of Oz? Nice. Hey, Miguel. How are you? Joey, Allison Freitas used to run the parking lot at Shoreline. You dated her daughter for free parking. Oh, man. I don't remember Allison, but let's see. Who was I want to say Jill was my supervisor. I mean, it was like 1989 or something. So, Savoya, did Sharon officially say who the band was she kicked off? She did not. However, where's my tea? If you'll notice in the press over the last couple of weeks, all of the bands on the short list have checked in and said it wasn't them, like subtly, right? They're not like, wasn't us, but you know, you've got Motley Crue being like, hey, we have health issues within the band. Most recently, even Megadeth has been like, we weren't invited. Because Megadeth was on the short list of like bands we thought were uninvited. So the only two that have not checked in, if you're keeping track at home, are the Foo Fighters and Slipknot. So I don't know what that means, if that means anything, but at this point, my money's on Slipknot, and I could be wrong. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it was still super sus, right? That Dave Grohl was in London that day and not at the concert when he's Dave Grohl. Like, what could possibly be keeping Dave Grohl from being at that concert? And then have him publicly at another concert 2 hours away. Like, that's just, there's something there. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Tony in 89, he played Oakland with Anthrax, same day Exodus shot the Toxic Waltz video at the Fillmore. And that is why I missed that Exodus show, because I was at Ozzy and Anthrax. Joey, it's about 5-minute delay between comments and video. Sorry. Tony, you're glad you were able to see his last show, right? Kevin, they're not saying Mike Savoya, but happened before they're not saying, but it happened before the lineup was announced. They're not saying, but also Soundgarden was on the bill and then not on the bill. And Soundgarden has since come out and said, hey, we had conflicts with some of our band members. So yeah, like I said, everyone's come out with an excuse and been, and they haven't necessarily said BT Dubs wasn't us, but there's been like a statement that kind of implies wasn't us, except for like I said, except Foo Fighters and Slipknot. So we'll see. Hey Rodney, bouncing back to Facebook. Nice. Did you find the subscription button? There's a subscription button. It's literally 99 cents a month. Hi Brett. Oh, I'm glad you got to see the videos. I got to dig up some more. I do have some that I haven't posted yet. Jerry, you've seen hundreds of concerts, but when people ask you what your favorite show ever was, it was Ozzy at the Warfield on the No More Tears tour in 1992 when Zach was only 19. Aw, I am pretty sure I missed that for some reason. I don't remember why, but I'm pretty sure I did. But I did see Ozzy's autograph on the wall a lot when I worked at the Warfield. Hi, Jacob. I'm happy to share condolences with everybody. I mean, that's what community is about. Peter, The Last Supper is a good watch. Read the room, bro. What are you talking about? Coverdale lives in Lake Tahoe. Oh, yeah, but he's talking about like a long time ago in Reno. Or is he? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about that whole situation. Not that there is a situation. I don't know. I don't know. I know very little about Reno, Nevada. Kevin, you're happy I got to see the final show? Yes, me too. It was special. And that show was magical. I mean, you know how sometimes you go to a festival and you're all excited for it, and then it turns out to be like hot and gross and a bunch of stuff goes wrong and stuff like that. No, everything went right. The show was amazing. I loved every second of it. And it was incredible and magical from start to finish. Peter, I can't click on links here. Sorry. It doesn't let me. I would have to like wait until after the live stream ended and then go back into whichever platform you're on and then find your comment inside all of the comments and then click on the link there. So not going to find out whatever it is you're talking about. I'm sorry. Greg, Coverdale, Tahoe, Reno. Oh, yeah. Again, not my situation. Not here to talk about whatever that was with that. Or I just don't know. I can't help. I can only speculate. Clifford, you saw Ozzy Black Sabbath half a dozen times, but the best was in 91 when he played the Warfield. I don't think I did. I don't have any memory of being at the Warfield, but I also don't have any memory of missing it. And usually I have an angry memory of missing something that's that big. Like I have an angry memory of missing Guns N' Roses at the Warfield because we got the call the day before that the tickets were going to go on sale. And so that morning we were getting ready to go out the door and go to like the Ticketmaster outlet or the Ticketron outlet. We were either going to Bass or Ticketron. I can't remember which, but we were getting ready to go out the door and buy the tickets from whatever ticket outlet in Vacaville or Fairfield. And that's when we heard on the radio that it was only going to be sold at the box office. And at that point, it was too late. It was like 8 or 9 in the morning, and there was no way we were getting all the way to downtown San Francisco and then parked and then get to the Warfield in time to buy the tickets. So usually I have an angry memory about why I didn't go to the show, and I don't have that either. So I'll have to wait until my brain produces the information. Or somebody I know goes, don't you remember this? Did I put more Ozzy into rotation today? Rodney, how dare you? Of course. We have had Ozzy in rotation every hour, multiple Ozzy and Sabbath every hour all day since we found out in the 11 o'clock hour. Chasta and Lamont started it off this morning and I kept it going. So yes. Miguel, you saw Ozzy back in the 90s in Puerto Rico? Nice. Tony, you first saw Ozzy in 82. You met him once when he did an in-store. Nice. Justine, oh, I'm happy to see you, but I'm sad that it's for the reason. Yeah. Romarico, you won't be able to hear Mama, I'm Coming Home. I know. Yeah. And his last performance of that song. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but like the raw audio was going around on the internet. And I was like, nope. I listened to it for about 10 seconds before I had to peace out on that because I just don't have it in me to listen to. It's like I don't need to hurt myself that much right now, you know? Jerry, what did I do with the Birmingham ticket that I purchased? Sadly, nothing. I offered it up to a bunch of people and no one took me up on it. Corn, look at you on Twitch. Look, you guys, we got somebody on Twitch and it's Corn come back. How are ya? How high are ya? I'm so happy to see you, dude. Justine, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and now Ozzy. Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner, I got to be honest, is not hitting me as hard as Ozzy. Not by a long shot. Savoya, just imagine what we're gonna go through in the next few years when all of our heroes are dying. I know. Hi, Freeway. Were you listening? Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's weird. It's surreal. It's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's gonna take a minute before like you wake up tomorrow and you remember that there's no more Ozzy. It is tough. Justine, you can't wait for the Back to the Beginning movie next year. Me too. I want to see it in IMAX. Speed, you saw Tremonti with Wolfgang opening for Hailstorm. Nice. Hey, Ivan. Why Iron Maiden were not invited? Probably because Bruce and Sharon don't get along after that whole Ozzfest brouhaha where Sharon got some of the Ozzfest people to egg Iron Maiden while they were on stage. Oh, Jesus is Corn from Twitch. Hi. Well, thank you for popping onto Twitch for a minute just to prove that it still exists. Honestly, nobody ever watches me on Twitch. Although, I mean, I haven't been on for months, so what can I say? But I will continue to log on to Twitch now that I've coughed up the $500 for StreamYard. You know, there's no reason not to. Hey, John, 4 hours of the Osbournes. You know, I'm good. I saw it all I saw it in real time. Word salad. Who would have sang for Soundgarden? They have had a couple of different people sit in. I don't know who was expected to sing for them on this one. I mean, I think I did. I think I read it, and I just can't remember who it is. But there is somebody who is fronting Soundgarden. And then at one point they had a woman fronting Soundgarden. And her last name, I remember her last name was like Shepherd, but no relation to Ben Shepherd or something like that. Like she had the same last name as somebody else in the band. But I don't think it's her. I think it's someone else. But also, Matt Cameron just quit Pearl Jam and hasn't said where he's going or what he's doing, but he was very specific about not being retired. He's still going to be an active musician, which leads me to believe that Soundgarden is fully reactivating with a singer. I don't know for sure, but that's my suspicion. Hi, Nick. I'm doing well. Thank you. Appreciate you. Jim, the first Ozzy song you heard after knowing he died was my post about his first song of the show. Oh, yeah. I've got the whole song actually. It's like a 5.5 minute video, but Instagram penalizes you if you upload anything beyond 90 seconds. So that's why all of my Instagrams are 90 seconds. And at some point, I will sit down when I have literally nothing else to do and upload all this stuff to YouTube so you can watch the whole song. But Joey, was I at Tower Records on Blossom Hill when Metallica played in the parking lot? No. I lived in Vacaville when that happened. So I was at Tower Records in Sacramento when they didn't really play because they got so much shit when they did the San Jose show that everybody knew they were coming up to Sacramento at that point, and it was a madhouse. And we were like, okay, guess this isn't happening. I think it might have actually happened, but we had given up at that point. But I don't remember. I remember like being ready to go to it, and I remember being like, oh my God, this is a nightmare, and then just being like, never mind. Keith, did I get to see the first Sabbath reunion in 99 when Pantera opened up? Yes, I did. Hey, Zeus, you don't smoke? Oh, you know what? I was confusing you with, what's his name from Twitch? That's because my brain is slow. PJ will remember. PJ, are you still here? Do you remember what was dude's name on Twitch that used to... Hey, Zeus, you were there. Were you ever there when the dude was on who would be like, yeah, I ate 100 milligrams today? And we're like, what the hell? Tony, you heard about that GNR show? Yeah. It was crazy, right? Oh, you made it? Lucky. Yeah, you know, in hindsight, I could have made it. See, this is where I learned my lesson, right? I could have made it to the Ramones' last show at the Billboard Club in LA. And I did not because I knew I would get fired from my job for doing it. And I was like trying to be a responsible young adult. But it was, what was it, like 94 Lollapalooza was supposed to be the last show. So I'm at the San Jose Spartan Stadium last show, 94, I think it was, Lollapalooza. And the drum tech was local. And he was telling me that they were playing. And I go, yeah, but they're playing at whatever club it was they were playing at had this tiny little capacity. So like nobody was going to be able to get in. I want to say it was like the Billboard Club and it wasn't open yet. And this was going to be the first, show at that club. And then he goes, yeah, it was going to be, but, and I go, that's why I couldn't make it. I couldn't get tickets. I couldn't be sure. I couldn't like buy a plane ticket because they were non-refundable back then. And I was like, I can't drive all the way down there. I don't have any vacation time, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, no. He goes, at the last minute, they decided they weren't going to be able to fit it. They weren't going to be able to get the club open in time. So they pivoted and now it's at the Wiltern and they're basically giving tickets away. They're papering the show because, the Wiltern was like so much bigger. I'm pretty sure it was the Wiltern versus the Billboard Club, if I remember correctly. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, if you want to go, I can get you in. But at that point, it was literally the next day and I had to be at work. and I was going to either have to call in sick and drive to Los Angeles, which in hindsight, I probably should have done because all the Ramones never played again and fucking died right after that. Or, and risk losing my job by getting busted, or go to work the next day and be responsible, having seen the Ramones for the last time at Lollapalooza, which is what I did. Which is why I spent all that money to go to Birmingham to see the last Black Sabbath show with Ozzy. Nick, we are all sad hearing about Ozzy today. Don, you miss the Bay Area? I would miss the Bay Area if I left too. I'm sorry you live in Utah now. Well, you can listen online, right? We've got an app, the 1077 The Bone app. Just type in like 1077 The Bone in the App Store. You'll see it come up with our logo. You can download our app and listen to us anytime. Brock, have I told the story of Maynard's underpants? Not today. But remind me. I'm going to do this more often, I promise. And then I will tell you. Hi, Lynn. Yes. Word salad, you saw Soundgarden a week before Chris died? Oh. I saw the last Soundgarden show I want to say was Bill Graham Civic, if I remember correctly. I'd have to double check on the timing of that. And then I interviewed Chris Cornell and Ben Shepherd a couple years before he passed, which is still one of my top memories of all time. It was amazing. And I almost didn't get to do it because they were actually supposed to be interviewed by somebody at KFOG. And I forget who it was. I want to say it was maybe Renee. But whoever was at KFOG wasn't going to be able to make it. And they were like, hey, Nikki, do you want to interview Soundgarden? I'm like, are you out of here? So we were only supposed to get to interview them for like 15 minutes. And it was in the studio, just audio, but live, right? So we weren't in the air studio. We were in a production studio. And so it was just me talking to them in the Boneyard studios where we used to set bands up. So the guys were like sitting on chairs and we had a bunch of chairs set up and people could come and watch me interview them. And we recorded the whole thing. And I've got it up on my YouTube if you want to see it. It just find it on my YouTube page. And the best part about it is that the tour manager had said, I'll give you about 10, 15 minutes with the guys and then we've got to go. And I was like, okay, whatever, you just signal me and I'll wrap it. And I ended up getting to do almost 45 minutes with them. And at the end of the interview, I went up to him and I was like, thank you for letting me have all that time with them. And he said, they were having a good time. I could tell they were having fun and I didn't want to stop it because as long as they're having fun, I'm fine with it. He's like, if it's a painful interview and they're just trudging through it, then he's like, I would have cut you. And I was like, if ever you get a compliment like that, you take that to heart because it means a lot. Not a lot of bands enjoy being interviewed because they get interviewed all the time. Speed, is there any unreleased Ozzy music? Oh, I'm sure there's piles of it. I mean, Ozzy's been writing music this whole time. There was just no reason to release it because he couldn't tour behind it. So there's probably like 2 or 3 albums worth. At least. Jesus, you don't remember? Okay. Justine, you were on Twitter when you started seeing things trend. Ugh, yeah. You never want to be trending on Twitter. It's almost never for the good reasons. Ralph, you saw Soundgarden at the Paramount. Well, my brain is not producing that memory of yay or nay. So I don't know if I was there. Does Metallica like to be interviewed? Well, Nick, how many Metallica interviews have you seen pop up in the last 5 years? Like none, right? Metallica at this point is basically only being interviewed by Metallica. So the vast, I mean, not exclusively, but the vast majority of Metallica interviews are being conducted by Metallica HQ. So it's like Stefan Shirazi and Renee, who used to be on KFOG. She is part of their charity now, and she and Stefan do the Metallica podcast. So for the most part, I think Metallica is kind of the opinion that if they want information to be out there, they're going to put it out themselves. And if they want to be interviewed about something, they got a guy. That doesn't stop me from asking for an interview every single time I talk to anyone at Q Prime, which they love, by the way. They love, 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 love to roll their eyes whenever I'm like, oh, hey, can I get an interview? Is there an interview with that? How about we do an interview? Like, it's a thing between, it's a thing between us. Zachary, you're going to tell us a Sabbath story? So your introduction to Sabbath was Dio when you were a kid, and then Ozzy, and it was like a revelation. Aw. Hi, Mike. I think we are caught up on comments, and I'm going to head out unless anybody's got anything specific you need to know before I go, because I also have to pee, and I'm off work and I want to go home. The movie soundtrack to heavy metal. Nice. James, Ozzfest was the best festival ever. You've never been to another festival like it. Mayhem tried. Mayhem did a good job. Not gonna lie. Mayhem, there were some really good Mayhems. And as far as like picking up that torch and running with it, I will take my hat off to them, because that is not an easy thing to do. It is hard to make money in metal. Really difficult. I don't know if you've noticed, but no one has subscribed to me for 99 cents a month, while I have been telling you that it cost me $500 to sign on to StreamYard to do this. So yeah, no one's getting rich in metal. I mean, there's a handful of people, but for the most part, most of us are struggling or making ends meet or working other jobs to support our metal addictions. So for Wimmer too, it was Wimmer, right? Wimmer did Mayhem. Whoever did Mayhem, I'm pretty sure it was Wimmer. Give them the kudos they deserve, because it's a big risk. Peace and love to you too, Nick. Kardik, thank you for being a fan. I do have a great relationship with the Metallica guys. They've always been very good to me. I'm not going to pretend that we are on each other's Christmas card lists, although I do have a Metallica Christmas card. It was just that one year. This is 1 year I got a Metallica. I went to the Metallica Christmas party 1 year. So, you know, I am extended Metallica universe. The guys all know who I am, but they're not calling me up for anything. You know, I'm still a radio person, and we have like a professional, personal It's a complicated relationship, actually, because it's multifaceted. You know, I first met Metallica when I was like 16, and we had a personal relationship, and then we lost contact, and then I met them again when I was 20 something, 30 something, I don't know, in radio, right? And then we had mutual friends, and so we've kind of been in, and then I started working in concerts, and so I started working for Metallica, not directly but indirectly through the promoter. So I've worked for them, I've worked with them, I've been friends with them, I've hung out with them. It's complicated, but it's fun. You know, I mean, I would love it if, you know, James would be like, hey, me and the GF are going to the movies. You want to come by? But it's not realistic. But whenever we're together, we all have a really good time, and everybody's happy to see me, as far as I can tell. But also, doing interviews is like work for them, right? So it would be like if you and I were hanging out and I was like, hey, do you want to do your job for a minute for me? And you were like, we're hanging out. I don't want to do your job. I don't want to do my job. So it's weird. It's just, I don't know if I'm even explaining it very well. Thank you, Lynn. Staying sane is job one. I don't know if I'm succeeding at it, but I'm trying. Yeah, Zachary, I think the most important thing is that Ozzy got to do everything he wanted to do for the most part. Joey Sounds of the Underground, that was also badass. That was definitely Wimmer, right? Adrian, what do I talk about? I talk about a lot of stuff. Mostly we've been talking about Ozzy today. But yes, thank you, Savoy. Kevin Lyman. I didn't know John Reese, but everybody kept telling me I did. So maybe I met him and I just didn't realize it. But I worked a lot of those shows, as like a runner or production assistant or whatever. Thanks, Ralph. I am trying to keep metal alive, and don't call me babe. And I need to program Metal Zone for this weekend, and I don't know how we're gonna do that. I don't know if we're gonna do like an all Aussie thing or if I'm gonna, I don't know. Lasher, I am so happy that Ozzy got you through those hard times, because that's the whole reason we are all here trauma bonded to metal. Let's be real. None of us gets into metal because we're also healthy and well adjusted. We have a community because we are bonded by blood and trauma and all of that good stuff. Kartik, oh, I'm doing fine, thanks. Metallica doesn't have anything to hide? Well then, I don't know what I'm worried about. Dawn, have I got any more Nikki Black guitar picks? I do, but you have to see me in person to get one. It is Black Tuesday, JJ. I know, I'm sorry. Thank you, Justine. I think we all did need this, and I'm glad I jumped on, but also I really have to pee now, so I'm gonna go, you guys. Sorry. I will try to pop on tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Tomorrow will be easier because I will probably be in the home studio. There were things that we needed to change that I wouldn't be able to do from the home studio today, so I don't have as many excuses now that I've coughed up the $500. If anybody knows how to give me money or subscribe or whatever the things are that you do, please do. Because 99 cents a month is going to take a lot of 99 cents to get to 500. Well, I guess it takes 599 cents to get to 500, doesn't it? All right, guys. Mwah. Hey, Shannon. Oh, we're supposed to have brunch, Shannon. I was texting with Craig and Jason last weekend trying to put together a brunch date. So would you nudge your man and be like, hey, let's do this thing? Heather and I said we will come to Santa Rosa for you guys. Do an all Aussie Metal Zone, Justine. That seems like a lot. But maybe I'll do like a combination of like Ozzy, Black Sabbath, songs from like the Lamb of God song from Back to the Beginning, and maybe some Ozzfest bands and stuff like that. Hell yeah, Shannon. Thank you. Yeah. You and the man get together and figure it out, because we want to come to Santa Rosa and do some brunch with you guys. All right. I love you guys. Again, we're all going to miss Ozzy. And if you want to see any of the videos, I got them posted on my Instagram. And it's just been a rough one. So thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. Shan, you work till 2 on Sundays, but will meet up with us? Hell yeah, dude. All right. There's a group text. You need to get added to it, okay? Or just pick up Craig's phone and text us from it. Craig's phone on it, because why not? All right. Mwah. Talk to you later, guys.